bro's just floating into the sky and Katara's like, wow, he's really and then Azula just booms this man with the lightning dragon mid power up. And so I guess she's just like, technically this isn't anime, so I don't gotta let you charge up. Now before we begin going over her savagery and madness, I say we look back at her childhood to see what she was like. Now even when Azula was a jit, we find out she was an absolute menace, man. Like she was literally bullying her own brother and set him up for failure with his crush. So Peep, this man Zuko was walking through the garden with his mom, and then the emo girl started blushing. So Azula peeps us and invites Zuko to play with them, and then she's like, we gonna play a little game real quick. And then she sets an apple on fire on emo girl's hair. So Zuko tries to help her and ends up tackling her into the fountain. And then Azula's like, I knew this plan would work. Aw, they're so cute. And absolutely fumbles his bag. Like this was the equivalent to calling him the Rizzler in front of his crush. So Pete, later that day Azula and Zuko were giving gifts and Azula gets a doll while Zuko gets a knife. And then Azula's like, I don't care about this. When is dad gonna become the king? And then she just burns the head of the doll. So later she's talking with Zuko and she's like, guess what? Uncle Iroh's coming home. And Zuko's like, so he won the war? And she's just like, nah, he's a quitter and he don't got the guts to finish the war cause his son got boomed. And on top of that, she made bro believe his pops was gonna kill him before he went to sleep. Well, I think that's enough for her menace childhood activities. Let's get to her current smoke catching ways. Now for context of this scene, Team Avatar basically kidnapped the governor's jet and the governor thinks it was the resistance. So they take King Boomy and send Team Avatar later talking about let's make a trade. So when they get to the site, Azula has her assembled team and they meet with Team Avatar. And not knowing it was the Avatar who took the jet, she's just like, deal's off. We gon' take the king and Tom. And then she just throws a blue flame of death at who she thought was a normal dude. But luckily it was Aang, so he just Michael Jordan's over that John. So now when Aang went after King Boomy, his hat ends up flying off and Azula's like, aw snap. The Avatar? Even better. And then she just takes off after bro. Like ain't no way you get hype off of one to fight the strongest dude in the verse. So as Aang's trying to frame Boomy out them chains, Azula just busts through the top of this construction building like the Hulk and does a fire kick at them, attempting murder, a double homicide. So luckily that man Aang got Hall of Fame quick reflexes and saves them both and starts sliding away. But as he does that and is on the move, Azula is on his left staring bro down. And then she just starts spamming flames at him. She really on some PK fire, bro. She thinks it's smash. So Aang like skip all that and tries to block her path and it seemingly works. But then Shorty pops back up like nothing happened. Like this is some horror movie mesh. She's moving like Jason. So then she just starts charging up a Kamehameha and then launches that thing at they dome ski. But like I said, Hall of Fame quick reflexes. So finally Azula's like 2 dodges is enough. I'm about to do a move you cannot dodge, buddy. And then she throws a spinning fire wheel of death at them. And then Boomy comes in clutch and saves them while breaking Azula's card at the same time. And that's just sliding away from her. Azula is just staring at them menacingly, bro. Like look at her. Yeah, and I'll be real with y'all. This is one of the more chill scenes we see of Azula. Yeah, let's get to the next one. Now for this next part, we gotta talk about Azula absolutely solo squatting Team Avatar plus Zuko. So this episode, Azula and her little team get the drop on Team Avatar because Appa's fur keeps making a trail wherever they trying to go. And so now they're getting absolutely hunted down, bruh. Like Team Avatar's literally just trying to get some sleep, but they can't because they on 24-hour lookout because the ops just keep on sliding. Like they on some, I can't go to sleep, you feel me? So yeah, Aang's like, I gotta put a stop to this. So then he takes Appa's fur and makes his own trail and goes to an abandoned village and just sits down posted up, waiting for the smoke. Like I'm gonna be honest, this is the coldest thing Aang's done all series. So you know Azula's a human smoke detector, so she takes the solo trail and's like, emo circus girl, y'all get the other one, I want smoke. So Tylee and May end up pulling up on Sokka and Katara and they end up mixing them, but Appa saves the day and one taps them both. Meanwhile, the encounter we've all been waiting for is happening and Azula just pulls up on Aang and bro's like, who are you and why do you want the smoke so bad? And Azula's just like, is it not obvious, gang? I'm related to the hothead with the scar on his eye. But she just like, that doesn't matter. You can run, but I'ma find you. And Aang's like, I don't plan on running, buddy. Let's throw the hands. And on some black sitcom mess, Zuko just pulls up out of nowhere and he's like, he's mine, Azula. And so bro just starts posing up like he finna turn up. But then Azula just booms this man and Aang does the dash. So as bro's trying to fly away, Azula hits this man with the wick flame of death. And bro's just fighting for his life at this point. And Zuko's going hard too. So one way or another, Azula ends up spamming this man Aang with fire attacks and bro's just trying to run. But then she chops this man down. And looking back, how powerful are her fire attacks to be slicing through buildings, dog? But yeah, she slices this man into a building and then surrounds that John with fire and starts slow walking up to do like the final boss. And then she's about to hit Aang with the throw but Chidori. But Katara pulls up and is like, no ma'am. So then Azula starts chasing Katara now. Like how much smoke can one get alone? And so mid Katara chase, Sokka pops out out the cut, and now it's a little 3-on-1, and she's just smiling. And then out of nowhere on some Into the Multiverse mess, both Toph and Uncle Iroh pull up, and now they all cornering her. And so Azula's just like, congratulations, y'all got me. And then she just pulls a cheap shot out of nowhere and blasts Iroh in the chest with the finger of Zeus. So that was the last straw, and they all attack her at once, and a huge explosion happens. But when the smoke clears, she's gone on some David Blaine mess out of thin air. Meanwhile, Uncle Iroh's on the ground, and Zuko's like, all of you guys, get out of here, leave me alone. But yeah, Azula's actually a dog. Now leading up to this next scene, we see Azula and her crew hunting down Appa, who was lost from Aang, and she ends up running into the Kyoshi warriors, and she's like, who are y'all, the Avatar's fangirls? So long story short, they end up dropping them off and then infiltrating the Earth Kingdom, pretending to be the Kyoshi warriors. So when they get settled in, Azula has Ty Lee pretend to talk about how they aren't the real Kyoshi warriors, and purposely has the secret Dai Li guards over here, so she gets captured. And so they end up playing right into Azula's hands. And so when she gets captured, she's like, oh my gosh, how could you treat a Kyoshi warrior like this? And no dude's just like, you're Cap girly. But Peep, the king's right hand man, ends up being a traitor, and he's like, Azula, I need your help. I'll get you the Avatar if you help me become the king. And you know Azula had to accept when she heard the Avatar. So now Azula's coaching the underground Earth Gang traitor squad, and she's like, aight, we finna take over this government, and y'all better not be weak, cause I'm not trying to babysit. So lock in. So now that Azula got some motion, she ends up inviting Zuko and Iroh, who have been in the Earth Kingdom running a tea shop, and she's like, y'all like my new gang? They love smoke just like me. And Uncle Iroh was like, yeah, that's cool and all. And bro just starts breathing fire on everybody, and they take off running. So Zuko decides to stay back, and he's like, you know what, Azula? I challenge you to an Agni Kai. And Azula's just like, nope, I'm cool, and locks this man up down in the Kryptonite cave with Katara. So later when Aang and Iroh pull up to save Katara and Zuko, things are looking up until Azula arrives. And she's like, Zuko, think about it. We can stop the Avatar right now, and you can redeem yourself to your father. And somehow she ends up convincing this man to join her. So as Aang and Katara are leaving the cave, Azula throws a freaking lightning strike of death at him, but Aang blocks it. And then Katara gonna try to hit Azula with this weak Pokemon attack, and Azula's just like, sit that mess down. And yeah, the fire in the water ends up making a steam cloud, and then Azula just jumps out that jaw blasting, bro. So she ends up between both of them, ready for all the static. And then this man Zuko wanna come out of nowhere and help Shorty that just imprisoned him. So now Aang and Katara are getting whooped, and it's not looking good. And so Aang just has the main character moments like, I must do it. I have to go into the Avatar state. And bro's just floating into the sky, and Katara's like, wow, he's really and then Azula just booms this man with the lightning dragon mid power up. And so I guess she's just like, technically this isn't anime, so I don't gotta let you charge up. Like, she is a real deal menace, man. So for this next scene, we have the iconic old beach episode. But the thing is, this isn't a normal beach episode, cause y'all know we got the Fantastic Four over here wilding. And so right as they get to the beach, Azula instantly just steps on some Jit sand castle, and everyone's just chilling. But Azula sees some dudes playing volleyball, and she's like, hey y'all, get up, we finna play. Like, Azula is 100% the group leader. So when it's their turn up, Azula makes a whole war plan, and it's just like, you see Shorty over there? She hesitates when she's kicking with her left. She's probably been injured in the past. Keep serving to her left and we'll destroy them. So when they start playing, they are going nuts, bro, absolutely whooping the other team. Like, this man Zuko's literally throwing lobs. And so for game, Azula does this super fire kick and sets the whole net ablaze. And then she just has a monologue out loud, and she's like, yes, you've been defeated. You bring shame upon your family and bloodline for this loss. And I'm just like, oh nah, she's a psycho. So after this, they get invited to a party, and bro's just like, if you're gonna show up, can you try to act normal? And Azula's just like, we'll try, and has this a devious look on her face, bro. So that night they end up getting to the party mad early, like nobody there early. And so when they walk in through, Azula ends up trying to riz the dude up, and she's being mad weird. Like, her compliments on some, you're looking so sharp you could pierce through a full Fire Nation fleet and leave hundreds dead. Bro, she said something along the lines of that, bro. Like, this is a new type of riz, like evil war riz or something. So when the party gets a little active, all the dudes are just fiending over Ty Lee. And so she goes over to talk to Azula, and she's like, man, I wonder why they won't leave me alone. They like me so much. And Azula's just like, not gonna lie, Ty Lee, I don't think they like you for your personality, gang. And so after this, Ty Lee just starts crying, and Azula's like, alright, maybe I was just a little jealous. Ty Lee ends up telling Azula how to make it easy for boys to talk to her, cause you know, she's kind of crazy and all. And it ends up working, cause her and this dude hit it off. And bro's like, you know, Azula, you mad pretty. And Azula just starts tweaking out and is like, we'll be the strongest couple in the world. And starts firebending and mess and scares bro away. How in the world did she take a compliment as they gonna be the strongest couple in the Fire Nation? So yeah, the Sinister Four end up leaving the party to express their feelings and what's been on their heart. And when it gets to Azula's turn, she's like, you know, I could sit here and give a sob story about how my mom loves Zuko more than me, or how my mom even thought I was a monster. Well, she was right about the monster part, but yeah, it still hurt. But then she just brushes it off like nothing. It's like, I say we go do something to make this a memorable trip. Hello, housekeeping. Now on to this next scene. Zuko and Kyoshi girl are trying to escape from prison, and per usual, Azula is posted up on the scene. So she just blasts over to them so she could throw hands, and now they on top of this excavator thing, and per usual, they scrapping and it's a 2-on-1, Azula versus Zuko and Sokka. So Zuko shoots a fireball, and then Azula just flex dodges and catches herself on her hands. So the guards protecting the prison are like, you know what, they doing way too much. Cut the line! And Azula just flies onto the other cart like Tony Stark. So before the guards can cut the line, May and Ty Lee end up taking them out so they can save Zuko and everybody else. And so Azula peeps what happened and she pulls up and she's like, oh, y'all want to betray me? Y'all want to betray me? And then attempts to kill May with the lightning finger of death. But luckily Ty Lee hits her with an as and immobilizes her, but the guards were there to arrest them both. So that morning when Team Avatar is sleeping, a freaking bomb just comes out of nowhere, but luckily this man angers a dog and blocks it, but then a whole barrage of grenades just starts raining out of nowhere. And so when they go outside, there's just like 5 Fire Nation airships posted at their crib, and Azula's just like, wakey wakey Zuzu, you and your friends need to come outside. And then she just throws a fire swirl kick at this man Zuko, and the rest of the ships just start wilding, man. And this man Zuko moving like he in a Mission Impossible scene. So bro tries to jump onto one of the airships and then absolutely fails, bruh. Like he thought he was the MC. But maybe he was, cause bro just starts rising back up on another airship and starts going at Azula. So Azula's going hard, but Zuko's not playing around either, and they do some type of anime clash and both go flying. But clutchily, Appa comes through and saves Zuko, and now Azula is free falling, and Zuko's like, she's not gonna make it. But then she does the smoothest save of all time, catching herself on the wall and just smiles at them as they fly away. Like, Azula has no chill. So on to the last and final scene. We start off with Azula, who is soon to be the new Fire Lord, being treated like a queen, man. And so she's eating some cherry pits, and the pit ends up being in the cherry she bites into, and she's like, do you know what's in my hand? And old girl like, it's a cherry pit? And then Azula's like, and why in the world is a cherry pit in my cherry? Do you know what could have happened to me? And then old girl's like, you could have choked, I guess? And then Azula's like, yep, then I guess you understand that you are banished. Now get out of here. So later she ends up calling for her little bodyguards, and it takes them like 5 minutes to get there, and she's like, oh nah, y'all took way too long. An assassin could have walked in and killed me and I'd be gone. And then she just banishes them too. Like she's absolutely tweaking. So when she gets back to her room, she just starts chopping her hair, and then she hallucinates and seeing her mom in the mirror and starts arguing with her. And her mom's like, Azula, this isn't you. I love you, honey. And Azula's like, shut up, woman, you don't love me. And then booms the mirror. So when it's finally time and Azula's about to be crowned as Fire Lord, this man Zuko pulls up and is like, nah, twin, I'm gonna be Fire Lord. And Azula's just like, hey, bro, you should be a comedian. Zuko, I'm finna do you how Will Smith did Chris Rock. So when they start fighting, Zuko's really holding his own against Azula, for always getting dropped off by her too, as we see. He's actually kind of winning. And yeah, Azula ends up getting laid out by Zuko's windmill kick, and bro's like, oh yeah, Azula, where that lightning at, gang? You scared I'ma throw it back at you? And Azula's like, oh, you wanna see some lightning? And then she just starts charging up the most devious lightning strike of all time, bro. But as she is about to shoot Zuko with it, she sees Katara in the background and shoots it at her like it's psycho. But somehow Zuko jumps in front of it and redirects it, but he looks like he's in critical condition after taking that. And Azula's laughing, bro. So now she's absolutely terrorizing Katara and wilding, talking about, oh Zuko, you're not looking so good. And then she just starts hawking down Katara. And now she's about to boom her. Katara pulls up the drain water and stops Azula from shooting her with the lightning of death and locks her up. And so now Azula's just in the chains going absolutely bonkers, bro. She's like breathing fire and crying a mess, like she's off the perks right now. And yeah, right there was the end of Azula, bro. Thankfully so, because she is crazy, man. Hey, I hope y'all enjoyed this video though. Through Crew 5L. Love y'all boys. God bless. I'm out of here. Hey, and make sure y'all follow my Instagram to keep up with new videos dropping, etc. I'ma catch y'all.